Hey y'all, what's up? It's Amanda and I am back with another video. So today's video is going to be my April TBR. Also, sorry if you can hear my dog groaning. She just like rearranged her sleeping position, so she was groaning. She does that a lot. But anyways, yeah, today's video is going to be my April TBR. I have my TBR jar and all the books that I am thinking of reading in April. But lately, I just want to say this, lately I've been in like more of a mood reading type of situation. Sometimes I get into like situations where I have a set TBR and I'm like strict about it. I'm like, I gotta stick to this TBR. Other times I'm like a mood reader. I'm feeling like a mood reader right now, so we'll see how this month actually goes with the TBR. We'll see if I actually follow it. But without further ado, let's get right on into the video. So first, I want to do my TBR jar because I think last time I almost forgot about it. But yeah, let's just pick, I want to pick one that's at the bottom. Really mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna pick this one. This is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I hope you can read that from that far away. I have this edition of The Graveyard Book. It's a really old edition. I've had it for years. But what I like about it, I don't know if every edition is like this, but it has little like illustrations on the page. So I'm excited about this. I've been wanting to read this book for so long and I can't wait to actually get to it. So I'm going to put this in the book so I don't forget that I picked it for the prompt. So yeah, what I know about this book is that it's kind of like a middle grade book. I'm trying to read the sticker that's on it. It got the Newbery Medal. I don't know what that means. But I'm pretty sure this is a middle grade book, and it's basically about this baby that lives next to a graveyard or something like that, and the family of the baby is killed, and then the baby ends up living in the graveyard and getting raised by like the ghosts. So I'm just gonna read, I'm actually gonna read the inside flap to you because I don't know if that description is actually right. It says, "Nobody Owens, known to his friends as Bod, is a normal boy. He would be completely normal if he didn't live in a sprawling graveyard, being raised and educated by ghosts, with a solitary guardian who belongs to neither the world of the living nor of the dead. There are dangers and adventures in the graveyard for a boy, an ancient indigo man beneath the hill, a gateway to a desert leading to an abandoned city of ghouls, the strange and terrible menace of the Sleer. But if Bod leaves the graveyard, then he will come under attack from the man Jack, who has already killed Bod's family." And that's the end. So I was right. I was right. I don't know if he lives next to the graveyard, but basically the main character, Nobody Owens, is like a child when his family gets murdered. And then he ends up living in this graveyard. And it's just about his adventures, which I'm very excited, very intrigued by. I'm very intrigued by these pictures, illustrations, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, let's move on to the other books on my TBR. The next book that I want to mention before I move on to the physical books that I have is the book That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human by Kimberly Lemming. This book is the last book in her series of That Time I Got Drunk and blah blah blah. The first one is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. And this is the third one, like I was saying. This is the last one I have to read from this series, and I've just been reading the audiobooks because they're a fun time, they're a silly goofy time, and I don't own the physical books. So my hold came in from the library yesterday, so I plan on reading that. Now we're gonna get on to the stack of books that I have to share with you. I'm gonna start with the one book that I have had on my TBR for like all year, it's actually technically on my currently reading shelf. It's The Stonewall Reader, edited by the New York Public Library, forward by Edmund White. So it's a book that has multiple different stories, pieces of writing, poetry, like essays, letters, stuff like that. that have been culminated into this book by the New York Public Library, and it's in 3 parts. So the first part is the events leading up to the Stonewall riot. The second part is the events that transpired during the Stonewall riot and the writings that came out of that. And the third part are the writings of the events after the Stonewall riot. So I am, let's see, I'm 50 pages into this. I'm liking it so far. I just am not like making the time to read this, so I want to fix that. And what better way than to try and finish it during April? I don't know. We'll see if I actually finish this. It's not even that long of a book. I just haven't been gravitating towards it. Anyways, I'm excited to actually continue on with this. The next couple books are books that I have bookmarks in. I've just been eyeing them for a while. This book is actually a library book, so I have to read it in the month of April. This is Fina by Nino Cipri. I've read another book by Nino Cipri called Homesick Stories, and it was just a bunch of like sci-fi queer short stories, and I love that book. Gave it 5 stars last year, and was it last year? I think it was last year. And I just like absolutely love their writing, and so this is like a short novella type book about a store like IKEA, but the store is prone to having like black holes just appear inside the store. And so what happens is a customer gets lost inside this black hole, and 2 employees have to go and try and rescue the customer. So I'm very excited to get into this. It sounds like a fun sci-fi book, and I have the sequel to it, but I'm only putting the first book on my TBR because I have a lot of books on my TBR this month, let's be real. Next is a book that I put, I believe, on my February TBR or maybe my March TBR. I don't know. It was already on my TBR. And did I read it? No. This is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Again, a short book. I just have not read it. So I'm going to read the back. It says, set in the 1950s, Paris of American expatriates, liaisons, and violence, a young man finds himself caught between desire and conventional morality. With a sharp, probing imagination, James Baldwin's now classic narrative delves into the mystery of loving and creates a moving, highly controversial story of death and passion that reveals the unspoken complexities of the human heart. And I don't know much else about this. That's literally all I know about this. I just know it's a classic, a queer classic. And I'm queer, and I want to get more into classics. So I'm like, this is a book I need to read. This is the last book that I have a bookmark in, I think. I hope so. I've had a bookmark in this since last year, 2023. This is A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a part of a Hades and Persephone romance series. The first one was A Touch of Darkness, and I read, this is the 3rd book in the series, so I read the first 2. And I have the audiobook for this on Audible, which, by the way, I have canceled my Audible subscription because, like, it's problematic. And I'd rather support Libro FM. But anyways, I got this before the audiobook for this book before I cancel my subscription. Anyways, I'm excited to get back into this world. There is a lot of tension happening in the book between certain gods. And that's all I'll say, because it might spoil some things about the series. And I'm just keen to get back into this. I'm pretty sure there's a 4th book coming out in this series. So I want to like catch up. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be on top of the ball here. Next is another continuation of a series. This is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is like the little novella that happens after A Court of Wings and Ruin, and it kind of ties in the 3rd book into the 4th book, because this is technically 3.5, whatever. I don't know, it came in a box set, but I'm excited to get through this, especially because it is way shorter than the other books. This is only 230 pages, which is like a fraction of the length of all the other books. Like, seriously, it's like nothing. So I'm excited to get through this. I'm excited to get back into the world. I'm only committing myself to this book in the series for April because honestly I have a lot going on in April. Like I have a ton of final projects due in April. So, because it's the end of the semester. So with that being said, a nice short book is right up my alley right now. Okay, this is the last nonfiction that I have in my stack. This is The Three Mothers, How the Mothers of Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and James Baldwin Shaped a Nation by Anna Malika Tubbs. I don't know if I've heard anybody talk about this, but I'm very intrigued to get into this book. I'm intrigued to see the topics that it talks about. Just looking at the table of contents that it has, it talks about men in marriages, birth of like black children, trials, tribulations, and tragedies, death, stuff like that. Like it's gonna be a heavy read. Like, is it bad that I'm gonna say I'm excited to read this? I don't know if that's the right word. I'm looking forward to reading this. I'm intrigued to read this. I don't know what the right word is to say, but this is on my TBR nonetheless. I wasn't looking at the camera when my camera card got full, so I'm just going to reintroduce this book. This is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This is a romance book by one of my favorite romance authors, Hannah Bonham Young. This is the last book I have to read from her, to the best of my knowledge. And I'm excited. I don't know the premise of this story. I just know that it's like one of her most popular books and I'm really excited to get into it. I need like a fun romance. And yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this, just that I'm excited. These are all the books that I plan on reading in April, as long as my mood reading aligns with what I picked out. If not, then you'll see in my April wrap-up what I actually ended up reading. The only book that I actually do intend on reading is the one that I picked for my TBR jar, which is the Graveyard book. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. Alright, y'all. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I have all my socials linked in the description down below. I have Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Storygraph, and Goodreads, so follow me or friend me on those. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and want to see more from me. Leave a like and a comment down below. If you don't have anything else to say, then comment the sleepy emoji, because I'm pretty sure you can hear my dog snoring in the background this whole video. She's like snoring loudly. So anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.